Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about emotions. I feel this is something that a lot of us don't understand, and this is what is causing us a lot of pain. And once we understand what emotions are and how we can safely navigate through them, we can start living a much better and fulfilling life. I want to start first with what are emotions. And in order for me to explain that, I am going to speak about emotions and feelings. So, feelings is what we feel in the present moment. Somebody maybe yelled at you, or somebody did something that you liked. There's always a feeling that comes in your body. Maybe you feel scared, maybe you feel joyful, you feel good, you feel bad, you feel angry, you feel frustrated. This is like what's happening in the present moment. You can feel it in your body, and you can feel sensation. Maybe you have something in your chest, maybe your throat, your stomach, your legs. There's always sensation in the moment now. Now that is feeling. While emotion is something from the past, is a stagnant energy that we couldn't move in the past and is stuck in our body. And when something happens, what happens is it triggers us to feel certain way and to help our emotion that is stuck, that is incomplete, to move. Now, what we do, the reason that emotion is stuck there is because we were too young, we didn't feel safe, or we didn't have the capacity to move that energy. So, what happened is we stored it. And now, as an adult, whenever it gets triggered, we don't feel it. We still react in the same way as we did when we were young. But now, as an adult, we can learn to act differently, to respond instead of reacting, and to know that we are no longer in the environment that we were when that emotion was stored. So I want to go back to how we store these emotions. What happened to us that we ended up storing these emotions, that we ended up not completing this process. Before going to what happened to us, I want to give you an example in animal kingdom. So, because this is how we naturally what would I say? Because this is how we naturally, this is how our system works. This is how our system is designed. So if you look in the nature, let's say we see a zebra, and it could be sitting there, relaxed, eating grass, knowing it's safe, and suddenly a lion comes and wants to attack a zebra. That zebra system is going to go straight away in fight or flight. It wants to keep itself safe. That's how the system was created. It's not just going to sit there and wait to be eaten. So the system is going to prepare for it to either fight, flight, or freeze, depending on the threat. So the lion will come, the zebra system in like less than a second will decide what it needs to do. If it's the threat is it can fight the threat, it will fight. If it can't fight the threat, it's going to run. And if it can't flight, which is run away, it's going to freeze or play dead. So let's say the zebra now runs and the lion runs after it. And let's assume that zebra gets away. The lion does not get to it. The zebra is going to find a safe space for it to regulate itself, for it to put the system back to a relaxation mode from fight or flight. So this is the state of nervous system. It goes from parasympathetic, which is a very relaxed, I'm safe, to sympathetic, which is run for your life. We need to survive or we're going to die. So we need to either run, we need to fight, we need to do something so we don't get eaten or we don't die. So it goes from that state to relax, I'm safe, there's no threat, and it shakes. The animal always shakes. And then now it goes back to safety. The excess energy, the emotions that were there, fear, and all the emotion that raised are all released, and now it's going back to safety. And the process is complete. In human, we have a similar trauma response cycle, and most of us are working with incomplete cycles. So what happens is, let's say, for an example, you and your sibling were playing and she hurt you or she hit you. You got upset and you hit her back. And she started crying. And now your mom comes in and she asks what happened. Your sibling says, you hit her. Mom does not listen to you. She hits you. Now you are in pain. Now you are angry because she is the one who started, but you're also angry that your mom didn't listen to you, and now you're crying. So now you're angry and crying and trying to express to your mom what happened, but she tells you to shut up because you are the one who has caused this. You are the trouble. So just shut up and stop crying and stop complaining. Now, what you're doing is you're going to internalize all those emotions because you wanted to express yourself. You wanted to say what happened, but you were not given the chance. You wanted to move those emotions, the anger, the frustration, the sadness, but you were told not to. So you suppressed them and they stayed inside. And there was nobody there to help you regulate or to give you the space to express your emotion. Now let's look at it differently. So let's say the same situation happened, but now your mom came and listened to both of you and told you to apologize or told her to apologize. You got validated. You expressed your emotion. You expressed your anger. You said what happened. And now the emotion was moved. There was nothing stuck. Most of us go around with stuck emotions. And what happens is these emotions stay with us. And the more we accumulate them, the more we don't feel safe enough, or we don't feel like we have the capacity, or we don't feel like we have the support to express our internal turmoil and what's going on within us, the more we end up with a big emotional baggage. And now, as adults, we have these emotions within us, which are causing a lot of stress in our body because they just want to move. There's so much anger that wants to move. There's so much sadness that wants to move. There's so much grief that wants to move, but we are suppressing it. We're still going around believing that we can't express, believing that the mom is still going to be there somewhere and is not going to allow us to express ourselves, is going to tell us to shut up. So we still have that fear and we are suppressing those emotions. What can we do to help ourselves move and feel these emotions so that we can feel better? Because these emotions, they really weigh us down. They really are what make us feel miserable. They really what make us suffer. Not that they are bad to have them, but life could be much better when we can express ourselves freely without fearing that somebody will do something to us or something bad will happen. And this is an experience that we need to learn because as kids, we could only learn in a way that our parents allowed us. So if we were not allowed to express ourselves freely, as adults, most likely, unless we can experience differently, unless we spend our time and lives with somebody who can allow us or who can react differently whenever we lose ourselves, we will still react the same. And because we have those beliefs, we're always going to attract similar people who are not going to allow us to express ourselves. So it's us that need to do the work. Before I go to how we release these emotions, I want to briefly speak about the vibration and frequency of emotion, which I talk about a lot. And this is available online if you want to learn more about it. It just shows us what is the frequency, the energy resonance of all these emotions. And the lower the frequency, the lower we feel as well, the heavier we feel. And the lowest in all the emotions is shame. So shame is a very low frequency emotion. And this is an emotion which is close to death. And when we have this, when it's something that is there and we don't feel it, then what happens is we start isolating ourselves. This is actually one of the reasons that causes people to commit suicide, because it's close to death. The frequency of this emotion is so low that it's like death. You feel worthless. You feel like you just don't belong. You feel like you are not part of the world. You are so isolated. It's like you are a bad person. And this is the emotion that I lived with for a lot of my years in life. And if you are going through the same, I want to tell you that it's possible to feel this emotion and to overcome whatever it is that you are going through. The second emotion is guilt. That is the feeling of I am doing something wrong. I am not enough. There is something that I'm not getting at. And you're always blaming yourself. Third one is fear. And this is what actually stopping us to get to what we want, because this is what's telling us because this is what's telling us if you do this, this will happen. So we still operate in a belief that we created as a younger version of ourselves. Now, as an adult, in order for us to create new beliefs, this is what we need to go through. The fear is what we need to get to head towards, unless, of course, it's a real fear. Then we go different emotions. I will list them down here. You can see the list of the emotions. And the higher you go on this scale, the lighter you feel. And every emotion in here that is very active in you, if something outside resonates with you, that brings that emotion outside. So, for example, let's say you go somewhere with sitting with people who don't eat meat. Let's say you are among people who are vegan and you love your chicken, right? But you have a bit of shame because you come from a family that is vegan, but you started eating chicken and meat. So you still have this shame, right, from your parents, because they used to judge you, they used to shame you, you shouldn't eat meat. And now you are with a group of people that are vegan, and then they are speaking about how people who are eating meat are so bad, and they don't care about animals. And this is triggering you. You are feeling the shame and you don't want to be there anymore because now you feel attacked. So the only reason you feel attacked is because you have that shame with you. So whatever emotion, the feeling, so whenever we feel there is something not right, something is making me angry, something is making me, they are making me feel ashamed, they are making me feel guilty, they are making me feel angry, they are making me feel sad, it's not them. It's because there is something in you that resonates with that. So how you react depends on what's active within you. What is it that you didn't feel? Which we will go through how to go through this instead of shutting yourself down, feeling like I don't want to go with these people again because these people, they always shame me, they always talk about people who eat meat. So instead of doing that, there's a better way to deal with everything. So now let's go with how to feel these emotions. And again, before doing that, I want to just talk about how we have learned to feel these emotions. Most of us, how are we processing these emotions whenever these emotions come up? This is something that I personally used to do as well. And the first thing that we all do is numbing ourselves. This is something that I have done quite a lot. And this is when we find something that can give us temporary relief or temporary highs. Because we are in such a lower vibration, we need to put ourselves higher. So we find something outside of us that can make us feel good. And usually these are things that can give that dopamine feeling. They can give us a shot of dopamine. The most common one, which is what I was addicted to, is sugar or carbs. You know, they really make us feel good. They give us this quick energy, dopamine kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, we feel good, but only temporarily. And then, of course, there are other things like, smoking, alcohol, so many things, phone, scrolling. It's all just numbing. Find something that helps you not to feel whatever it is that's coming. Another one is distraction. It's like, okay, just distract myself. As long as I don't have to feel this, that's fine. Like, I'm going to work now, then I'm going to exercise, then I'm going to listen to a podcast, then I'm going to meet my friend, then you have like such a list of things to do, but to feel the emotion. So you're just running away from what you need to feel by distracting yourself with so many things. Whatever comes, it's like, yes, I want that, because you don't want to sit with an emotion. The third one is positivity, which is something that I was doing a lot as well. Like, okay, just be happy, just be positive all the time, just say positive quotes. It's okay. You don't need to be angry. You don't need to be sad. Just smile, be the good girl. Don't make people upset, apologize, and just like, so much toxic positivity with doesn't align with what you are truly feeling inside. So you are so angry, you're so upset, you're so sad, but what you're showing is a happy girl, positive girl, and that is not in alignment with what you are truly feeling within you. The fourth one is projection. Again, this has been my thing as well. I think we can all relate to all of them because we were not taught the right way to feel our emotions. So we've just learned how everybody is dealing with them. And this is how a lot of us have learned to deal with them. So projection is when you are feeling shame, but then you are judging others. Like, I remember I used to judge people a lot by not wearing scarf. Like, some of like really good human beings, I used to not like them because how dare them pretending to pray and connect to God while they're not wearing hijab. I used to like hardcore judge that because I used to judge myself with that because I was judged. So instead of me sitting and asking myself, like, why have I got so much hate on people who do this? Because I was not allowing myself. I used to hate people who didn't wear hijab. Like, I used to think they are sinners and they are pretenders. Like, how dare you call yourself Muslim and not wear hijab? It was such a like deep anger and hate, but because that is how I was treating myself. That is how I was controlling myself. That is what was my deep inner voice. I didn't want to wear it, but I had to wear it. And this voice that was making me wear it, it was the one that was projecting outside and judging everybody who was not wearing it. But it was a voice that I needed to look into myself. It was my voice. And because I did not want to judge myself, I projected it outside. So whenever we hate people, we judge people, we treat these people with like strong emotions, it says something about us. So instead of looking outside, go inwards. It's definitely your body telling you something about you. Whenever an emotion comes up, when you are talking about somebody else, so if there is anger, if there is frustration, if there is sadness, if there is judgment towards somebody else's behavior, that is speaking more about you than the other person. Yes, we can have our own preference. We can say, I don't like this and I hate this. But if we start saying, I don't like this, like with an emotion, with anger, with like body language being contracted, that has got nothing to do with that person. And it's just you projecting your emotion outwards. So just watch yourself, how you judge people, how you talk about people who are doing things that you don't want to do. Are you just saying, I don't like that? Or you're like, I don't like that, they should go to hell. They're like, they should, that when there is strong emotion associated with how you are speaking about people outside, it's usually got to do with your emotions inside. The fifth one, we're in the fifth one now. The fifth one is external validation. And this means if you were told you were a bad girl, if you were told you were lazy, if you were told maybe you were angry, you were poor, you were not intelligent, what you're going to do is you are going to look for people who can validate and tell you the opposite. So you would be so badly wanting people to tell you that you are a good girl if you were told you were a bad girl. If you were told you were angry, you just want people to tell you, oh yeah, you're so calm. If you were told that you were lazy, you want to prove it to people and be validated for you to be productive and doing things. You want to be validated. You have this urge, and when somebody doesn't validate you, it brings some kind of emotion, like why is it that you didn't tell me this? I did this and this. Why did you not validate me? And the last, but definitely not least, there's so many different ways that we have adapted to deal with these emotions, but these are the most common ones. The last one is victim mindset. This is when you are just stuck in your story. Like, this person did this to me and this happened to me. All people are this, or all men are this, all women are this. My dad is that, my mom is that. It's always, you are stuck in this victim story that people did something to you and you just want to talk about it. You want people to feel sorry for you. And these are not necessarily things to shame yourself with, or to judge yourself. This is just information to help you understand yourself better so that you can live a better life. We all are doing things that we are not aware of. So the more we learn about what our behavior and what we are doing does not serve us, it's just a mechanism that we created when we needed as young adults. But now as adults, we can do better and therefore feel better. So this is just an observation. This is not judgment. Please don't judge yourself. Please don't shame yourself. Always be kind to yourself. That's the first step towards any change, is acceptance of where you are, kindness, love, and just be compassionate really towards yourself, because you didn't know better. So you can learn, and now from this point, you can start one step at a time to do things differently so that you can help yourself feel better. Now, how do we feel our emotions? The only way to feel our emotions is to actually sit with them, to go through them, to feel them, not to use any of the 6 coping mechanisms that I have mentioned previously. So, not to distract yourself, not to numb yourself, to run away, to be positive, just to avoid. And this is not something that's going to come overnight. You need to learn by first feeling whenever an emotion comes. And maybe the first day you might have forgotten to sit with it, but it's okay. Just to start to be aware, oh my God, an emotion came. Or even after your reaction is done, later just go back and reflect and ask yourself questions. Why did I react that way? What happened? What can I do next time so that I can react better? And then you learn from your behavior every time. So fully feel the emotion in your body. Whenever you feel there is something that's happening, and usually this happens in triggers. When we are triggered, when something happens, we feel it in our body. There's so much that's going on that we are aware, and then thoughts come in, and then our beliefs come in that, oh my God, this person, like if we go back to the example of people sitting and eating vegan and talking about how other people are not good people by eating meat, and if you are there, you're going to get triggered. You're going to have all these emotions, and if you are not prepared to act differently, you're probably going to go and do one of the 6 things that we talked about. Maybe just call your friend as like, oh, these people are so bad, they just judge everyone and they call everybody this, like, you're going to go to this victim mindset that these people are not good, these people are treating you this way, and that is just going to validate your old story. So to feel the emotions first, you need to sit with it. Oh my God, why am I feeling this? This is to validate your physical body feeling. You watch what's happening in your body, what's going on. You might feel something in your chest. Okay, I'm feeling something in my chest. What does this mean? And then after that, watch your thoughts. Because we go first, the trigger goes in our body, and then we start thinking, these are bad people, these are this, these are that, So instead of going ahead with the story in our head and allowing us to take us to our old beliefs, because that was the experience of our parents, we need to change and think differently. We need to create a new belief, which is, oh, these people, this is what they think because they just not eat meat. It's not my story. I choose to eat meat. I am not that person. Like, not to identify as what they are talking about. Because if you believe, this is where our belief come in, and this is where we need to do belief work as well. Because our old identity, our old beliefs are what making us react the way we do. When we have a different identity, when we have a different belief. So let's say, for example, you go there, you know that, what, I love meat. I know I'm a good human being. I don't have to eat vegan for me to be a good human being. I can eat my beef, I can eat my chicken, and I can still be a good human being. If that is your core belief, and if you see people talking about, oh my God, people who eat meat are bad, it's not going to affect you. Or you're just going to let them have their own experience because that is their thoughts, that is their belief. But if it's stirring something in you, then that is your belief. Instead of blaming them, instead of blaming them and now going back to projecting your feeling outwards, let it take you in you and let it help you find out more about where are you not free within yourself. Where are you judging yourself? Where are you criticizing yourself? Where do you have those same voices that resonated with the voices that they were talking about? Because if it didn't resonate, you would not react the way you do. Therefore, after everything that I have spoken about, whenever we get triggered, that is the only way to help us release our emotional baggage. So actually, getting triggered is a good thing. It's just that we need to learn to react differently, to respond, to be more in our body, to take it as an opportunity to understand ourselves and to help us release what we could not feel at some stage in our life. So, how do we feel these emotions? Like, what is the best way to feel them? Personally, I have tried so many things. The first thing that I resonated with so much was psychedelic plant medicines. Like, they made me go crazy. I was just releasing and releasing and releasing. I thought I was a gorilla. I thought I was a monster. All my anger, my frustration, the swear that I didn't swear, everything came out. Everything. It was a space where I could just release, release, and release. And that is one of the way that we could release. The only thing is it's very important to do it with people who, first of all, we feel safe with and who can help us towards the process to integrate and to go to the next stage. Because releasing emotion is just part of the healing journey. It's not about just releasing, but once we release, we need to integrate and help us embody a different way of being in life or of showing up in life. So for me, psychedelics really helped me release quite a lot. But they didn't help me much with integration. Actually, some of my psychedelic journey re-traumatized me because, again, I was still feeling the same emotions, but I didn't feel safe to integrate them. So it's like, you're just reliving the same experience again, but not having different results. The second one is breathwork. And for me, this is my favorite because it's like psychedelic. It puts you in that state of mind, but you are in control. When you don't want to go deeper, when you are feeling scared, you just stop breathing and you come back. And then you can go again. And then so it can be like, a slow leaning towards your fear. Instead of like psychedelic, they just take you straight away towards your fear. And when you are not ready, and if your system is not ready, that's when actually we can end up being re-traumatized. So I love breathwork because it's a slow process, it's controlled process. We are in our power, we are in charge. Nobody can take us anywhere except ourselves. So it's our decision. And I also love especially depending on who you do with. So if you do breathwork, I would recommend to do it in a group setting because it really helps during integration because you see other people who go through different processes, and then when they speak about their experience, you can see a different perspective because, hello, we are all going through the same shit. So we can all relate. And when we hear other people's stories, it just impacts us and it can rewire us, especially during integration, and help us show up differently in life. So I would definitely recommend breathwork and the authentic connection or circles. Amazing way to have a different experience, to release our emotions and showing up differently in life. There are so many different ways. EFT, there's so many different ways. Another way, though, that can really help you that a lot of people are running away from, and that is like the most amazing one, is being in a relationship. Like, this triggers us like nothing in this world. And that's why a lot of people quit and run away, because it's putting you in the same environment that you were in. Only this time you need to act differently. And the only thing I can suggest during relationship, if you're using, don't use relationship to heal yourself, but if you are in relationship and you are being triggered, this is your opportunity to create safety first. It's so important to create safety because it's during safety that we can transform. The reason we have these stuck emotions, the reason we are traumatized is because we didn't feel safe enough to express ourselves. The mom who stopped the daughter from being angry and from crying made the daughter not feel safe enough for her to express whatever emotion she was going through. So when we are angry, when we are sad, what we need is not a person who can match our emotions, but a person who can stay grounded so that they can allow us to express, but also to go back to regulation. And this is usually the work of a facilitator. And this is what we do in our breathwork sessions. This is what I do in my one-to-one coaching, in my group coaching. And at the moment also, I'm opening doors soon for our 6 weeks container, which we will be going through different coaching modalities, breathwork sessions, authentic relating, and different modalities to help us feel our emotions, to help us release what needs to be released, to help us integrate and change our stories and create different identities. And lastly, but not least, to embody different habits, to create new patterns. If this resonates with you and if this is something that you want to explore more, I've got a link attached on the description bar below. You can click on that and I will send you all the information. Everything that I have shared today is from my personal perspective, how I have learned from my personal experience as well. So if anything resonates with you, you can take it with you. And if it doesn't, that's fine. There's so many other different ways to explain what emotions are and how they affect us in our daily lives. Thank you so much, and I will see you in another video. Namaste.